Okay, now being 7:04, call the meeting to order. Call me the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Scott will be joining us eventually, and Tammy will not be with us this evening. Okie doke. Excuse me. I would say approve the minutes, but perfectly honest, they're all messed up, so I'm going to skip the minutes tonight. We'll get them next month. Moving right along. We have no privilege of the floor, so now we move on to correspondence and comments by the good old mayor. I've got a letter. I don't need to give that to Scott, so we won't even go over that. We're almost done, folks.
Moving right along.
All right, committee reports. Water and sewer laws update under legislative. I contacted Bill Davis. I still have not heard back from him, so there's nothing to report there. Action list update. Anything more since last week, Megan? It isn't already covered elsewhere?
Correct.
Okay, moving on. Public safety, Trustee Rittenhouse. Keep it short. There's nothing.
Fire department, do you have anything to add to yours? You had submitted a report and had commented on that, and anything new? No?
I did check, since we're on fire department here, I did check. I talked to Dwight today.
Okay.
And they don't seem to have a big problem with us. I came up with a number, and I'll throw it out to the board right now. The current parcel per parcel cost is $39.70. If you work that with the 109 additional, it actually comes up less than what they're paying now.
But, distance. Any distance up there for whatever reason. I mean, I would hate to go less than what they're actually paying for it. I mean, because our travel time and whatever.
I would agree with that, actually.
I mean, because like
You
if
shouldn't get a break.
if the house fire is the first house in Austin, the first house in Austin, I mean, you're not, I mean, but for every mile you go further to it, there's an additional cost and additional risk in a winter time of, and then, I mean, I would just, my personal opinion would be not to go less than what they're paying now, because we do have more travel, and we would be the commodity to them at that point if they're getting their rates checked.
Dick and Dick?
My own personal feeling is that I would be receptive to going slightly less, maybe cutting it at 5, not going the full amount, which would take just a few $100s off it. You know, let's give it a year if they go with us, kind of assess where we're at, and if we need to increase it, fine. But we know, based upon prior history, how many they've had in the last couple of years. And I know that doesn't determine how many they'll have. They could have 20 more this year. I understand that. But in the interest of bringing them into those that get fire service from the village, I was hoping maybe we could give them just a little bit of discount. Greg, you're coming on that?
To me, I know. Either number's fine, really.
My one thought about it is there is a working structure fire in these areas. You're pulling our resources from our village if there's a secondary call here or whatever.
And you do.
And you don't want to look like you're trying to chop somebody else off underneath them to take their, like Cancerega. They come in and says, well, Dansville undercut us, that's the reason why we got rid of them. They got rid of us because Dansville undercut them. Where if we say, hey, for the price that you're paying, we'll cover you, because they don't want to and they want to jack the raises, in good faith, I think that. You see what I'm saying, Greg?
Yeah. You do have a little bit more of a risk, though, too, because if I do call people in for mutual aid, if something happens to their truck, the village is liable for that out of the mutual aid. So there is an inherent liability there that actually I just thought about.
Really?
If we go back a ways, wasn't I got one of the trucks ended up in a ditch years and years and years ago? I mean, we're going back probably 15 years. On a mutual aid call, a Cancerega truck ended up in a ditch, and we paid to have it fixed.
So that might be a reason why you might not want to.
Right.
Wasn't about a year ago, we had some issues up on McNeil Road?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing. That was what, Naples or
Yeah.
Springwater or somebody up there, yeah.
Would there be any thought of maybe putting a substation up there?
You know, the issue, back when, I'll let you know, back when Bill Dixon was the mayor, they did come to Bill and ask him if we would put up, we got rid of one of our old trucks, we would
Right.
put up that truck up in Ocean. And Kent Rounsel was the chief at the time, and he explained to him, you know, that might work, put a truck up, but there's nobody up there to run it. That's the problem.
Oh, okay,
There's no
okay.
you got Jimmy Welch, the joint member from Ocean up there, and you can put the truck up
The
there.
guys
but
still
then
have
you
to
gotta
run
go
up there.
To get it,
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
so you're not
Okay.
really,
Yeah.
it would have,
okay.
they'd have to,
Yeah.
And if they're responding in their own personal vehicle and they get in an accident, and there's some liability as well or none?
no, I don't. Well, there's, if they're personally injured, they're covered under fireman's comp, but the vehicles are not. They're
Yeah.
on their own insurance, but
Yeah.
stuff, I mean, Kent told them that, you know, if they wanted, if they had 6 or 7 guys who wanted to join the fire department and become the fire department and just man that truck, that would be fine, but I don't think it would never went any further than that. And that's the only way you could do it, if you
Right,
had somebody out there.
Yeah.
So, it's unfortunate, but.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be okay with what they're currently being billed. I think there's been
Yeah.
some good discussion, arguments in favor of that, and that'd be fine with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Would our insurance rate go up at all?
No. Ours is set for 10 years, I think.
Okay.
Or, you mean the fire insurance rating, or?
Well, no, the cost on our vehicles and that if we're covering more territory.
I don't think it
Okay.
Do we need a motion on that to,
Probably ought to. And that would be, they're currently at, what, 5610? Was that it?
has. I think it's close enough,
Yeah, that's what's on here with the cancer rate contract. And that's without the 78% increase.
yeah.
Yeah.
what was, did we have an increase this year to the rest of Ocean?
It was the 1.5.
1.2 or 1.5, yeah, 1.5% across the board.
Originally, I think it was what, 3%?
That's what I proposed.
Yeah.
Five,
So,
So do you take what their rate was and add the 1.5% so they're, they feel the same as the rest? Just throwing that out there. That's last year's number.
It's this year's number for us.
we'll see what they say.
Make a motion.
Yeah, a motion from trustee Rittenhouse,
Second.
a second from trustee Whitnack. Any further discussion? Okay. Dick?
Aye.
Dick?
Aye.
Dan?
Dick?
Gonna be duck, duck, goose? The mayor is an aye. Excuse me.
3 Ds.
What can I tell you?
Anything
Okay.
else, chief?
no, I'm pretty well set.
Ambulance, did the ambulance turn in any sort of reports today, Megan, or?
No.
I haven't seen anything.
I guess we'll just,
And Tammy said, by the way, there's no change in her report.
okay, so I guess we'll just make note for our next committee report that we're missing this month. Did they end up giving us one for, I think it was April, we were missing one.
I think he
Yeah.
gave us the report, but I don't think he gave it to us in writing. That's, if I'm remembering correctly.
Right.
And I got your email on MedX, the MedX meeting, as long as we're talking ambulance. Did they have any, like, ideas, cares, or whatever? I figured I'd just talk to you guys about that, because I would like to come and sit through it,
Okay.
but I don't know when they're available.
She's out, she was out for training this whole week, so she's emailing back and forth with me when she's not in the office. She said she gets back in the office on Friday, actually, so that's the whole week. So Friday or Monday, I guess, is when I would have available dates
Okay.
and more information for you guys. Jerry said 5-ish is good for him.
PM?
What's that?
5-ish
Like,
PM?
yeah.
Oh, that's perfect, yeah, I thought we were gonna,
And then because we're just we're throwing out just like a bunch of dates, just for daycare purposes for me, I was trying to stick with like a Monday or Wednesday,
Which is perfect for me.
because I can run late on those days and not have to worry.
All right, because Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm coaching basketball, and that's when the theirs are, so let me know, and I will do my
Okay.
best to be there, because I would like to sit down and have a
So we'll have more communication either Friday or Monday.
Say, 5-ish is fine with me,
Okay.
as long as it doesn't last more than an hour or so.
I can't imagine that it will.
Yeah.
Do we have a set of questions that we're looking to ask them, or is it just,
The meeting, the idea for the meeting was kind of initiated by Jerry at last week's committee meeting. So I don't know if you've had more conversation with him.
Well, we've
I
had
know
conversations over the
their-
last several months.
Is it their president, Eric Dodge, he left. He's not with the
MedX?
company anymore, yeah, with MedX. So Jerry brought that up last week, so I'm assuming that's why. Is that why he's looking to meet
Well, it
with
goes
them?
back a little further than that onto some other issues that we've
Okay.
been talking about over time. That was, he brought it up though in connection with Eric moving on, yeah.
I would want to talk with them about collections a little bit more, because we had brought that up before. And then also, it is a good meeting to sit in with them. I haven't done it in a few years, but they go over all of the different types of billings that they have and the different insurance companies, like, you know, in Medicare and everybody that they work with, you know, different types, like type A or B or, you know, whatever. So it is kind of neat to, you get a better understanding, I guess.
okay.
So I would imagine that whoever it is will also give us an overview on how they bill as well, and why they're required to do it the way that they're doing it.
Okay. All right, and we'll just, I'm gonna just mark here that, April, and now the October reports. Okay. Anything else on that? I mean, pretty much cut and dry. And so on to, the police department.
You have some schedules in there. Obviously, October's what we're doing, November's what we will be doing, and December's guesstimate. I don't think it's necessarily perfect, but that's in there for you to look at. The old car's up the auto auction, hopefully they're selling that tonight. So
It's old.
for whatever that is.
With or without the windows.
Without.
4 pop cans gone.
The plastic is free.
Amazing you can get through there.
The plastic's free, so.
Buy them some new ones.
What's that?
Buy them some new plastic, make them feel like they're getting a deal.
I don't know if that's about it, I think, off the top of my head. Yeah, nothing else to call out.
I guess one of the reasons why we just wanted to look at this schedule was, because the overtime budget is
Yeah,
the condition that it's in.
Project that. I'm gonna ask for a projection on that through the end of the year, so I'll put that together and have it.
When is, Officer Grease supposed to be back?
5 weeks is what he told me, so.
Got 4
I'm
more to
sure
go?
Yeah, I guess that's all, I guess it has only been a week, it seems longer than that already. Yeah, no, it seems longer than that already, so yeah, 4 to go, so I guess that takes us to about the middle of November.
Have we heard any more on Larry?
He's in a walking cast, and they've assigned him now to, so 2 days, I believe it's 2 days a week for 4 weeks of physical therapy, which he is at least a week and maybe a day into, so. At that pace, I'm guessing that he's probably looking about the same time, middle of November.
Okay.
So just looking at this, how many, are these down here needed, are these projected shifts that would be overtime?
Yeah.
Is that what this needed is?
Yeah. those are-
And we can take the CR is covered by Shermer for court?
I
don't see him in
I
there.
didn't put those in there, but he's just
But
handling that.
he's there.
Yeah.
So now when we fill yours in, will that take any of these away? 'Cause I'm just trying to, attempting to
Yeah.
track the overtime.
Probably not, no, because let's see, what do we got? Those two are on Sunday, possibly part of Monday, Sunday, maybe part of Monday. For the most part, no.
So it'd be an estimate right up front, is 14 shifts at, we'll say 8 hours apiece.
Yeah. Because some of them would be, a couple of them might be 6. Sunday afternoons would probably be 6 hours, 2 to 8.
About 112 roughly, give or take. some of those 12 hours of overtime, which, I mean, that budget's already down. Is it down, is that the one that was at about the 30% left?
I think so.
30,
Was 33, wasn't it?
35, yeah.
There he is.
35.
Is there any way to make adjustments within the schedule to
35.5.
have that, it all evaporate up some of that?
Off my top of my head, no, without it just showing a hole someplace else. And it'll just create a hole someplace else.
At 112 hours, how much is that percentage-wise per pay period eat up the budget? I mean, yeah, how much is that gonna drop, like, that percentage by the end of the month,
Like $4,800.
which is how much percentage of what's in there? Well, let's say if there's 31%, that'll probably bring it down to, we'll bring it down to 20%.
I would guess, off the top of my head, I'd say, try to guess, 25.
Right now, in overtime, we got 16,315 left in the budget.
So you can take a quarter of it. So 30% would drop you down to probably 22%, 23%. I guess I'm just recognizing that that's not even finishing up what we got left here in October.
Right, and it doesn't take into account any court time, any
Yeah.
extra hours for transport.
Well, I mean, at some point, we gotta look and say the overtime's pretty much dried up. I mean, and if we can't cover the shifts with overtime, then we either need to move people's shifts to cover within them wheels, or do something, because we just can't, I mean, the overtime budget at this point, last year we weren't in this situation, but at this point, our overtime budget is,
Well, last year, it just only had 6 people, though,
yeah, we just dropped.
now we have 4.
Didn't gain anything.
I don't know, anyone have anything they wanna, you guys are all looking at the schedule as well.
And you need overlaps at certain points, I mean, to accomplish the job, there's gotta be times where the guys have somebody else working with them, so they can finish up what they've got to do. It's one of those times we have to sadly dip into government support or something like that.
I mean, personally, I think the chief is in the best position to determine, how we can perhaps limit the usage of overtime. I don't have that expertise, and we're
Yeah.
going to look at the schedule, but, I think the message to the chief and the board is we're very aware that this budget's going to grow exponentially, and we need to be watchful of it and take every opportunity to slow down the process. Aside from that, I'm not really sure we need the coverage. And it gets to a point we don't have any money left, and we'll have to take a real hard look at it and determine whether or not we're going to have 24-hour round-the-clock coverage. And that's what we're driving to. And that's something we'll be looking at. So if we can slow down getting to that point, it's going to be the advantage of the community.
Yeah, because basically that's what the state audit that we got back said is,
We'll look at that.
there's
It's on the table.
hours. I mean, it was just what came in based on the manpower and your hours. Where do you cut?
Maybe we'd all be taking a look at those opportunities right now. If there's some hours of that perhaps we can get along without coverage, if it were to be overtime, then we ought to be taking a look at it.
We want to hold a meeting separate from this? I don't think we're on it.
Yeah, you want to talk later about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, chief? Everything going good? Okay. And I think that about wraps up That's court reports, police department, ambulance, that pretty much wraps up public safety. Hey, we'll see you guys.
Have a nice evening.
Have a nice night.
Okay, budget, finance, and audit, trustee LaBar.
First item I see says mayor.
Yeah.
So I'll throw it right back at you.
Well, I've sent a note to everybody, all of the department heads. Y'all get it?
Yes, I did.
But, yeah. And the board. All the department heads should have
Sorry.
gotten a message. No, that's okay. I did copy in.
Yeah, we're copying them.
We need to start looking at the strategic planning again. We haven't reviewed it probably in a couple of years. And I think I was pretty specific on it. I would like to set up something, what did I say, next week? Yeah, 24th. So I'll be getting with everybody on that, and then from there we'll go into the long-range planning. This will be a rather long, involved process. But when we get to budgeting, it shouldn't take any time at all. Okay, and I think you wanted to it's not on your agenda, but I do have here on mine, discussing those, the low lines, deficit lines. This sort of goes along with the budget modifications follow-up.
Sure. Everybody should have gotten a copy of the type of report that I put out last year, up to date through the end of September. And again, it's just to draw attention on those soft areas that perhaps are getting a little bit ahead of the budget amount for where we're at this point in time. I would like to comment that Megan took what I had put out and she made notations based upon where she knows things are, and together I think, it gives us a picture that we can really take a look at where we're at that given time with the budget. So that's something we're going to continue to do. I and Megan talked about that, and it kind of puts together the total package together. We already talked about the overtime, the training. I'm not sure where we're at on that. We're at 30.2, but the police part-time officers, that's going to be a budget mod. The equipment's going to be a budget mod. Uniforms, there's been some purchase of uniforms. Greg just left. Fire admin's getting down to 14%, but he got a copy of this. The next would be for Scott. And again, to draw attention that we're aware of where some of the things are. Employee assistance program, we talked about that. That actually can probably be taken off. That's an annual payment. Dropping down to the water fund, the dam reservoir repairs, that's going to be a budget mod. Next one, admin equipment, that was a coating error. That has been corrected by Megan. The polymer, that's been steady at 29.3 since last month. The next one, the T&D, miscellaneous hand tools, that's going to be a budget mod we're going to vote on this evening. Cold patch gravel, no change from last month. The same with hydrants. Miscellaneous expenses, that's down to 32.3. Valve replacement, 15.3. And I know there's been a lot of activity, especially like in valve replacements. Employee assistance program, again, that's an annual payment. And the storage tank principal, that's a coating error which has been corrected by Megan. Down at the sewer fund, the first two, the admin engineer and the insurance, those will be budget mods we take a look at this evening. Equipment, steady at 18.2 since last month. Miscellaneous for the sewer plant is 33. Hospital insurance, it looks like Megan extrapolated that out to the end of the year. We could be under budgeted for that. I would say at this point, if Megan's in agreement, we'll continue to watch that on a monthly basis.
I agree.
But don't be surprised towards the end of the fiscal year for not looking to do a budget mod on that. And again, the employee assistance program, that's an annual payment. I went through that pretty hurriedly, but everybody has seen this already. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay, so I think we're good with that, and Megan, perhaps you want to go over the budget mods?
Sure. The ones for the general fund, everyone received last week. But the water and sewer, you did receive where we needed money to go to, but not where we were gonna take it from, so those were updated. Did you want me to read through them? Or?
I think
Is that
we're good. You've got their information. My own personal feeling, we've been looking at these long enough that we just look at them, and then perhaps if there's any questions, they can,
Okay, sounds
bring up the
good.
questions.
My question is last year when we, looking at the one from contingency, to the insurance and the engineer, that must be on the wastewater. On correct, page 3 if you're going correctly,
Yeah, this is for the sewer fund.
sewer.
Yep.
Right.
Is last year we were able to dive into that and save money in different places before we touched contingency. Is there any other places where we can actually look through that budget to see if there's things that we can save out of there before we touch contingency money?
It's really hard for me to do that with the sewer fund and the water fund, so I usually look to Scott to get where we're gonna pull the money from, because I'm not sure what he's planning, what his projects and stuff look like, so.
My thought is, anything we can take it from another fund, then we just budget mod that fund. You know, whether we save it over here or save it here. at the
No,
end
I
of the
know, I
day,
just
it's
always,
the same.
we're awful early in the year to be touching our contingency money, I just thought, I get it though, I understand the philosophy, it's just last year we were able to save, and I didn't know if we were able to look at it this year and say, there's a different spot we can pull that money from, just to try to leave our contingency money.
Is the village gonna recoup some of the engineering costs for the LMC stuff?
And that's part
Also,
of it.
that's a big part, that's almost $8,000 right now in engineering for the LMC dumping or whatever, I don't know, whatever you call it.
And that's what put it over, is that.
When
So
will that
when we
come
get that
in?
money back from LMC, then we can.
So is there any way that we can leave that the way it is now? And then when that comes in, it goes back into that line item and we don't have to worry about putting it back into contingency?
We're not supposed to, by law, we're not supposed to leave our line items in a negative.
Well, if you don't want to take it from contingency, we can take it from another line. Not a problem.
Well, the contingency I always looked at as like our last ditch effort. If we come down to the end, what do we touch? If there's other places that you're like, well, we could be a little bit here. Where our large payment's gonna come out, and we had budgeted aside the 461, and if it's gonna be 383, that's gonna be heavy. You know what I'm saying? Just my thought. I mean, does anyone else have any thoughts on that?
I can go through if you like, want to do it right now, that way it's done.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you guys think?
I couldn't agree with you.
Only because then at the end, it's easier to say, oh, we'll put it back in a different line item, and then money gets spent. I just, only being that it's October, if we can,
But like I say, we can't leave it in the negative, so we gotta take it from somewhere. Now, if you wanna put it back in that somewhere later, when we get the money in.
well, I think Dan just mentioned it. Did you want to take it from, what the principal payment was gonna be for the plant, because we budgeted more than what
Put
we're
it
gonna
back
pay?
there with it.
I would just think, would rather just try to be able to show that we're not touching contingency money in October. You know what I'm saying?
That should be about March,
No.
February,
Well,
March.
exactly. At the end of the year, you're looking, going, hey, we hit a couple of things here, and we need to move some contingency money around. Because I think in the end result is you'd like to turn contingency money back
It's fund
That'd be
balance.
nice.
as fund balance.
Yeah.
But I know that
No.
Scott, what if we took it out of the wood chip account for now? We got almost $10,000 in that.
How much have you used out of that? Zippo, right?
$35.46, I don't know what that is for.
Stamps.
Have to go look it up.
As I'm looking through, at least that's the one that kind of jumps
Yeah. Well, the
jumps
only-
out at me.
It would be nice that it gets put back in when we get it back from LMC, back to that fund, that's the hard
Right.
part to track. Whatever Megan feels is the best for her to track it, and then money comes back in. I don't know how Brian,
Well, it's hard because it's only very rare situations can you put revenue back into an expenditure code. You have expenditures, you have revenues.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very likely that there will just be another revenue code created and it'll go into that.
I'd say the chips are fine, if you wanna do wood chips, because I don't see that we're gonna have to purchase any wood chips this year. I kinda kept that line item just for, in case we have to haul sludge out during the winter for some reason,
Mhm.
but we can address that at the time if we need to. So that's fine. Either that or the plant payment. There's what, $85,000 left in that now.
Well, I just, again,
Not that we're just trying to spend that money, but
no, I would rather take it out of the wood chips and address that wood chips if that time comes, if that's possible.
yeah, that's possible.
Okay.
Well, if everybody's in agreement, then,
I'm sorry, Dick, I'm sorry. Can
Nope.
I just say one
Absolutely.
thing? I did put, under the general fund, this is everything that you guys had last week, but I did put to take money out of the new officer line item. Would we rather do something different to save, to keep payroll in payroll and use that for overtime, and payroll expenses, which is what it was budgeted for, rather than some of the other stuff? Because we had talked about that once before, so I just put it in without asking anyone.
Well, like, and even the stop stick money, that's gonna be returned back through DWI funds. That was them, the stop stick portion of that, 1,200 was it, right? Was stop sticks for 2,800? So $2,800 of that is actually gonna come in through DWI stop funds, because that was approved through.
Right, and it'll be recorded on the revenue
Yeah,
side
so here
of
we-
things.
Here we go
but-
back to that whole,
Right. In some cases, we've been able to put revenue back into the expenditure line item, so if we can, I will. But so anyways, I didn't know if you guys, rather than pulling money out of a payroll line item, maybe we should just leave it there and find another line item to pull
do you
it
have
from.
anything in mind?
No, do you?
No?
Do you? For the police budget modifications, I just was taking funds from the new officer for like equipment and stuff, but I was wondering maybe we ought to just leave that there to use it for payroll items, to use it for overtime,
Right, we should.
because that's obviously a concern. So we should probably leave payroll where payroll is. So,
I mean, you're okay with moving a new officer and a part-time officers? You're okay with that? Because that's a payroll
Right.
item, but you're
Right.
looking at a new from for the equipment and uniforms new.
yes. Yep.
So in essence,
So
you're
about
looking
$7.
for approximately like $5,700.
Yep.
That's not the exact math, it's just close. That's what we're looking for, $5,700 from the general fund. a working meeting.
We robbed the gasoline last year,
No,
right? It was
how
no
about the
big-
bicycles? Well, also, like, we're looking at budgetary amounts for this. Even through, like, health insurance and all that, we have 2 offices that are not full. We're still gaining money in that portion because we're not paying for health insurance, so that
Right.
should be on the heavy side as well.
It is. Actually, I didn't bring it with me, but I did the calculations earlier because Dick had noticed we were short in sewer. So I checked general and I checked water, and general is doing very well because we budgeted for those full-time officer positions.
And so
You know, like
retirement
you
should be
said,
high, and all those
Those will be high.
ones
Yep.
will be high, so there'll be money in there to, probably about 5,700.
And then our unallocated insurance, for like liability insurance and vehicles and stuff, we have $12,000 left in there. So the only time that we'll take from that for the rest of the year is if we add vehicles, basically.
We're pretty much stocked out.
So we could probably take from that line item and feel pretty comfortable.
Unallocated insurance,
Unallocated insurance.
that'd be a good one, sure.
So,
I think we could do that.
but you gotta figure right now, I mean, chief, even best case scenario, to run through that list, you're still at least a month out. Even if everything, if the stars aligned, you're looking at more than a month, which is gonna put you, November. So then you got half the years of insurances is gonna be sitting in there for 2 full-time people. You should be able to find 50, that's gotta be at least $5,700, right, for 2 people for half a year?
Right. Right, so, and we could potentially use that to cover like overtime, once that dips down or whatever, that health insurance, retirement, wherever we're saving there. And then for the uniform and like equipment and stuff, we'll just pull from the unallocated insurance and.
There should also be, good. I said, there should also be some money left for that police vehicle line item.
Because we didn't do it until this year.
Use it. We use Sheena's payroll to pay for that car. So,
We haven't seen that, thank you, guys.
do we send her thank you, Karen? So, I mean, there's that there too, which there'll be some out of it. Some of that money for equipment in the car, we got, but there's still be some left. There's some of that thing reimbursed as well. There's probably $3,000 out of DWI funding that's gonna come back to that. So there should be some left there too.
So would you rather use that line item for this
I-
rather than?
I would prefer, personally, to keep Scott's budget shortages within
Yeah.
the highway, my budget shortages within the police department. So I'd rather keep it like that until we can't. And then when we can't, then my opinion also is that's what governmental support's for. So if I can cover my own shortages through my own budget, I would prefer to do that. So for right now, rather than going to the other areas, I think we should go take it out of that
Police vehicle.
police vehicle equipment money on for now. I think that'd be fine to cover that. I think we should be good there. And then, like I said, we'll project the overtime stuff and see where within my own budget I can cover if it appears there's gonna be a shortage, which I can cover. And then again, like I said, I think that's what we put that money aside for, is those unfortunate circumstances that occur, Again, the stars and the moon aligned against us, it is what it is, it's gonna occur on occasion, 18 years of police chief, and this is the first time we've ever had to face it. But,
We'll get through, right?
exactly.
So I agree.
I'd rather cover that within I think we should try to cover budget shortages within that particular budget
agree.
whenever possible.
I think it's a great statement.
Yep.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yep, yep.
Sounds good. Yeah. Yep. That's perfect.
So you got it all figured out where it's coming from and going to?
Yes. Going from the police vehicle
Perfect.
for the equipment and the uniforms, and then the part-time officers will take from the new officer line item, because we had planned on doing that,
That's
just so
what-
that
Right.
everything's coded. That's all.
That's what they're covering.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I asked that.
Yeah, so am I.
Oh, perfect. That's good, healthy discussion.
Motion to approve budget modifications per changes discussed.
Have a motion,
Second.
motion from trustee Labar and a second from trustee Rittenhouse to approve the modified modifications. Any discussion?
Megan will put out the corrections
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Okay, Dick.
Aye.
Dick.
Aye.
Dan.
Aye.
Dick, Dan. And Mayor's aye. Passes 4-0. Okay. Next.
Before we go into the billings portion of this, does anybody have anything else to discuss on the financial end? Okay. Special billing, wastewater treatment plant, capital project with composting, MRB Group, engineering services, $10,129.28. Van Bortle Chevrolet, 2016 Chevy Silverado, $30,221.63. NYSEG service repair, $15,894.86. USA Blue Book miscellaneous equipment and parts, $5,367.01. And under housing rehab grant, Toma Development Program delivery, $6,288.83. Cassidy and Underwood, draw number 4, 28 Chestnut Ave, final payment, $2,000. Move to approve.
Have a motion from trustee Labar to approve the special billings for the wastewater treatment plant composting facility and the housing rehab grant. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from trustee Whiteneck. Discussion.
USA Blue Book? What was the miscellaneous parts? Just
That was a whole bunch of items that Randy got, like office things, all kinds of equipment.
Okay.
for the-
And that's going against the project?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any further discussion? Trustee Rittenhouse.
Aye.
Trustee Labar.
Aye.
Trustee Whiteneck.
Aye.
And the mayor's an aye. Thank you very much.
Under bills, general account, paid checks number 15683 through 15694, totaling $348,289.66. Audited checks in the amount of $409,685.36. Under water, paid checks number 986 through 991, the amount of $21,662.61. Audited checks in the amount of $34,515.82. And in the sewer account, paid checks number 848 through 853, amounting to $52,555.16. Audited checks in the amount of $85,193.26. Move to approve.
A motion from trustee Labar to approve the bills. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second from trustee Rittenhouse. Any discussion? Okay. Trustee Whiteneck.
Aye.
Trustee Labar.
Aye.
Trustee Rittenhouse.
Aye.
The mayor's an aye. Motion carries.
Under ban and bond payments, November 1, 2016, EFC for Mill Creek Dam, $1,417.59 interest. November 1, 2016, Depository Trust Company for wastewater treatment plant land acquisition, $2,336.25 in interest. November 1, 2016, Depository Trust Company for water meters, $2,550 interest from water fund. November 1, 2016, Depository Trust Company for water meters, $2,550 interest from sewer fund. November 19, 2016, EFC for wastewater treatment plant with composting, $384,400 principal. Under MedX billing account payments, Livonia EMS, $225. Livingston County EMS, $5,175. MedX invoice 2016-10, $2,080. Patient reimbursement, $851.67. Village of Dansville payment, $9,877. And Dansville ambulance payment, $14,815.49. Move to approve.
I have a motion from trustee Labar to approve the ban and bond payments as well as the MedX billing account payments. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from trustee Whitenack. Discussion? Okay, trustee Rittenhouse.
Aye.
Trustee Labar.
Aye.
Trustee Whitenack.
Aye.
And the mayor's an aye. Motion carries 4-0. Okay. Public Works updates. What you got, Scott? You must have something besides what I got listed there. What's going on with the projects, first of all? We'll just throw water, sewer, streets and all with big lump and give Dick over here a rest.
Quay and Adams Street, the boys put a hydrant and a valve in on the corner of Quay and Adams today. So that wraps up hopefully all the work that we have to do underground. But I've decided to hold off on paving that street till spring. Last night we were over there a little late trying to get a hole covered up. It's almost 7 feet deep. And I'm a little concerned that, things are gonna settle. I mean, we camped it, but you know how it is. I'd rather let it settle over the winter. We'll patch it up, make it look good, so it's good for the winter.
Keep an eye on it.
And then the section from Quay to Main Street, I'd like to do some drainage work in that. I wasn't gonna pave that section because it needed drainage work. So now I think we'll just do the drainage work and then pave it all at once. That way, you don't have the neighbor over here wondering why their street didn't get paved or all get done together.
Where are you getting your millings from then?
I didn't use millings up there. Actually, Pete was up today. I put the base on the hill today. We're all the way up to Seward Street Extension with the base. I just can't wait in line. It's too long. The leaves are falling. And I told Pete, when you pave over top of leaves, it makes a pothole. I don't know why, but it does. It's just not a good thing to do.
Locks in the moisture.
Yeah. So, we'll pave that for sure. That'll just get bindered for the winter. And Austin.
So you're not gonna do a top coat up there in the winter?
No, we'll just binder for this
Okay.
year. And we might let it set a couple of years before we top it. Because it'll be fine with the binder. That's coming along good. We've been working hard at that. There's a little bit of drainage left. Like I say, the sub base and everything's going in now. Hopefully that'll be pretty much in by tomorrow night because of the rain. We're working hard to get it so it's, people can get in and out of their homes. We're supposed to get like 3 inches of rain, I guess. So that's really what we've been focusing on.
East
is
of
that.
famine.
Yeah, I know. No rain, then it all comes at once.
Yeah. So we've been pretty focused. Like I say, the boys, they have one little pile of brush left tonight just because I pulled them out today in front of Abbott's.
I'm gonna talk to him too, so you don't run into that same problem again.
He blamed the state for that or somebody, I don't know, whatever.
How do you blame us putting his trash out in the roads
Said
on
they
the
cut
state?
it, they said that he said they cut it and left it there, now he's just cleaning. That's what the boy said, I didn't
I'll
know.
talk to him, make sure.
I find it hard to believe the state would do that.
It's been left out there a lot longer than I'd like to see it, but.
What about the pile up on Seward there? at
That's
that-
gonna get chipped just as soon as I can get some guys to go up and chip it.
Okay.
I put Bucky back on the mower today, so that kinda, like I say, everybody's busy, so probably tomorrow or even Thursday. They had 4 or 5 piles to chip, you've probably seen the bigger piles. That won't take them long to moor and run through those.
Are you on tonight, chief? Okay. Might want to have somebody take a look at Pioneer Park. When I went home this evening, I swung around Church Park, and there was all kinds of stuff on the benches over there. And it looked like kids, looked like sleeping bags and everything else over there. Big stuffed lion or something like that. I said,
Oh, that's probably the family at the end of the street there at that.
Jackson's?
Yeah, they spend a lot, I'm guessing they spend a lot of time out there, or maybe folks in the church had a lot of kids waiting out there too.
Okay, I just
Check and see.
make sure we're not having a tent city going up.
I walked all weekend, and, not saying something didn't change in the last 48 hours, but I walked all weekend, all hours of the day and night, and I didn't see anything. Some kids-
That's the first I've seen it. I just thought,
We'll check.
when he said Bucky was out mowing, I said, oh, turn on the light.
It's a well-used park, though, there's always somebody in that
No,
park.
it's good they're using it, I just don't think
Always
it's,
somebody sitting on a bench or.
Oh, yeah.
just don't think anybody should be taking up residency there.
We do have a sign to put up for Jane Clark. I think we paid the bill, right? And we got
Is that the
reimbursed.
state one? Mhm. Big blue and yellow one.
I just actually read an email from her, she's got the placement picked out, so.
Okay.
we'll get that done.
Make sure you get it right.
Yep. Don't worry. Don't worry.
You'll hear about it.
But other than that, that's, the issue with the plant. Actually, they were going to camera that big 30-inch line today. I don't know, the pump failed or whatever, so they're gonna do it tomorrow. I don't know. I wasn't there, so
What pump failed?
our pump, a small pump, I guess, decided.
In the system?
No, just it's a little pump that we have,
Oh,
a
okay.
portable pump.
Okay.
I don't know.
Say, there better not be anything failing down there yet.
Oh, no. So they're gonna get another pump and do that in the morning, so hopefully I don't think there's anything wrong with the line, but I think there's just too much water going in without enough air. And that's what makes it gurgle. Like your bathtub, if it's not vented, it won't drain. So they're gonna probably have to put another manhole in line, which really isn't a huge issue, I wouldn't think. Just take a doghouse manhole, set it down over and vent it. So hopefully that's what'll cure it, but we'll see. I don't want to jinx this. Just saying, but I don't know.
Leave it alone.
Okay.
So other than that, I didn't get a chance, Danny, to go look at your line, but I will. That we talked about this morning.
I got a phone call this morning about the line that goes up over the hill by the Moose Club, and it looked like it was in rough shape or something, and I
Yeah.
called Scott and said, hey,
Oh,
it
Yeah,
gets-
we talked
looks like
about
it,
that for-
the
Mr.
person
Howell?
said that it looked like it gotten worse, so I called Scott and said, when you get a chance, to go run up and look at it. I know what it looked like last year, so when I get a chance, I'll try to walk up and look at it, but that's something that me and Scott talked about this morning, about probably in the future, near future, we're gonna have to probably budget for and get that taken care of, so it's right.
Yeah, that was one of the long-term,
Right, yep, right.
we might have to get pushed up a little bit.
Well, it's been long-term for a long time. Eventually, it's gonna have to run
We've been
short.
coasting on that one for a long time.
Yeah, so, I mean, when you get a chance, I mean,
20 years at least.
I got a phone call, so I just in turn called Scott.
Any questions?
Will we get any kickback for not doing Adams or, I mean, or,
Flack, you mean?
yeah. I mean, it's been so bad for so long.
I think as long as they know what our plan is and, the
I'm gonna have to send a letter to everybody in town, but Nancy will be, she gets the water, I gotta come up with a situation. I mean, there's catch bases there by her place now, but they're actually set for pavement, so I'll have to come up with something for her to get her through whenever, so she's had
Yeah.
it.
Well, she's
But
got
other
more
than-
now than she's ever had.
But other than that, I mean, there's really nothing to really complain about.
That's just what's best, as long as you can relay that to them so that they
Yeah.
know, and they're not just wondering when we're gonna show. Because it was asked by someone that lived on that street, and I said that they were coming through here this week, I think.
You know, if it would hold up for a couple more weeks, guaranteed, I could look out and see that the weather was nice. I mean, they were saying next week was gonna be bad, but now it doesn't look.
I was just gonna say, next week don't look good.
Well, now it doesn't look so bad.
Oh, really?
Well, tonight's news said it was looking at grapple and everything else.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, I mean, we're pushing November. I mean, it's
That's
working
true.
with disaster, you know. You know, to be topping and do a nice job, it needed to happen a couple weeks ago, and we just ran out of time. Aren't even a fire, unfortunately.
Yep.
Okay. What about our coin-op water dispenser? You had a chance to look into that any further?
Yes, yeah, I have a whole bunch of options that I didn't print off, and I'll have to get
Well-
it for next time, but it's just, I think next year's budget, if we wanna, unless we really wanna do something this fall, if we can, once we get through all these projects, see where the funds are, if we wanna take some money and do that, we might be able to pull that off. I wanted to get it done actually last year and put it at the sewer plant. But we have to run a water line down there and then come up with some sort of a structure to put all this stuff in.
I think we're just running,
Yeah.
we're pushing our luck, I think, as far as the state's concerned. I don't know if they'll say anything this year.
What do we, just an all credit card system?
We can,
And up the price, I mean,
it's just they would have to come into the clerk and have her update a little card, you
What if
know,
they,
credit card.
what if they
Debit
use their
card.
own
Or a
credit card?
debit card, yeah, we talked about that too. Yeah, you can do pretty much anything you want to do.
If you break down the water costs down there, that water is cheaper than what the village residents are paying, isn't it?
Well, there's no base charge basically for you.
Yeah.
But with the base charge, you say it's being delivered right to the residence where these people have to come and get it, haul it out.
But it's 50 cents for 50 gallons?
We could quarter for
Yeah.
50. We could
Still
change
pretty
that,
cheap,
I
I
mean,
think.
Basically less. I mean, right now, all we can accept is a quarter. So we'd have to give them 25 gallons for a quarter, or 30 gallons, or figure out something, you know, if we wanted to charge more. But I kind of like the idea, like you said, with, you use a debit card or whatever. That way, it's simple.
No one's stuffing quarters in there. Bring a debit card.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep, yep.
Because quite frankly, we don't want to deal with the quarters. They don't want to deal with the
It would
quarters.
save on you, and it automatically goes into an account. There you go. There's how many gallons went out, and look at the accounts right here, and
Right.
it would be a lot easier,
Yeah,
wouldn't it, Megan?
Accountability and as far as, the integrity of the whole, chain of custody on the money, it's all resolved with that.
Yeah,
Got a paper trail.
yeah.
Yeah, everything comes in.
Either
50
that or
gallons.
either that or shut it off. What's the situation at Coffee Hill?
I don't know. I got to call Corey.
Yeah.
And he ain't ask him. Rick doesn't see any usage, but I mean, small usage we wouldn't see.
Right, yeah,
So I mean, if
yeah,
somebody's filling up a 500-gallon tank, we're not going to see it.
right.
But he doesn't see any like fire trucks being filled,
Okay.
anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, okay.
So
Where's that at?
Coffee Hill. Go to Coffee Hill, that hydrant.
I had heard that the fire company was using the fire hydrant to load up and distribute to people with problems up in West Sparta. It doesn't appear that that's happening. At least nothing in any significant quantity. And again, that was second, third hand information, so I just asked Scott to check with him, make sure that they aren't doing it.
Corey's number and call him.
Yeah.
I will do that. But yeah, that's the options, I guess. We update, spend the money update, or we close it down, but
Mhm.
I'll tell you, a lot of people get water. I mean, I got down there tonight, there's 2 people sitting there filling it,
Yeah.
and it's all day long.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about it, you know.
I mean, this year, that's no problem, I don't know, I bring in 10 grand at least this year.
Probably this year.
But we'll watch the 10 grand update too, so. The only nice part about that would take care of everybody, Wolfer and everybody.
Exactly, you know, I think maybe come budget time, we might ought to look at.
And we might, like I say, you'll see what the fall, like, if the weather's decent, we can get caught up. I mean, we can
Yeah.
just at least get started on it.
Right.
If that's what you guys want to do, is move forward to update it. I would
Well,
like to see it.
I think it would be a good idea. Yeah.
Let's see where we stand on everything else. I don't want something we didn't plan for to be spending money on it unless there's looks like we got some savings elsewhere.
Well, and it slows down
Very
in
well.
the wintertime. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not like
we want
it's-
to stay within our budget.
Well, we can look at the cost also,
Yeah,
what we're
right.
currently charging,
Mhm.
and see if we can offset the cost with a slight increase what we're charging.
Right.
I mean, we can look at it, doesn't mean we're gonna do it, but we can take a look at it. It is a convenience that we're offering.
Yeah, like you say.
And my own personal feeling is, we ought to continue doing it.
I agree.
We ought to continue doing it.
It's a nice neighbor policy to have.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yep.
Well, and it's not
Feels-
like we're
feels
running out
good
of
well.
water.
Yeah.
It's not like we put ourselves, well, it's not like we put ourselves in
Yeah, I
a
know.
detrimental situation
Yep.
by doing it.
Mhm.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, where do people go to get water if they can't get it here? I mean, they're gonna have to go to another municipality.
Well,
somewhere.
They were going to
Yeah.
Scottsburg, and that was empty. That one was
Yeah.
done, and then I know a guy that was going all the way to Leicester.
Yeah, that's pretty sad, I mean.
So, I mean, I like the idea of having it and helping our neighbors
I
and
do
whatever.
too. Yep.
But we
Yes,
just
yeah,
gotta make sure it's
charge
cost effective if we're gonna be upgrading
Yeah.
something. There may be an increase in it to cover the cost.
Yep.
Our ratepayers shouldn't be bearing the brunt.
Yeah. I mean, and especially if you go with a straight debit card, it's not like you're accepting quarters. You just set what your expectation for the 50 gallons is. I mean, so if it's a quarter now, even if you don't, if it's a quarter machine, then you gotta go to 50 cents for 50 gallons. But if you go with a straight debit card, you could go to 35 cents for 50 gallons and it wouldn't, I mean, you can
Wherever
find a
you want.
happy medium.
whatever you want.
Yeah,
And then you don't have to worry about it getting messed up with quarters going in.
Yeah, that quarter, that's a pain.
Well, then someone's gotta roll them and,
Well, not only that, but people put slugs in, they put pennies in, they put
Yep.
nickels in,
oh,
they
yeah,
put jams
oh,
in.
yeah,
and
oh, yeah.
Knock on wood, it's been running this whole week, they haven't touched this.
has it slowed down at all?
No, they're still, like I say, they're in there. all
We haven't had a lot of water yet.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of
Maybe
people's
after
wells are
tomorrow.
dry, you know?
They all wanna get into a water district now.
Yeah, this will be the year to push them into it.
yeah.
Okay, what about the bucket? Any more on that?
Just what we talked about last week, basically. We'll have $6,000 in it now, and it's 16,500 to buy it. So, Times 5 divided by the 3 funds, because that's how I split it up, and I take 3,000 out of each,
Right, yeah.
each equipment line item. And I haven't really touched any of the equipment line items, so.
Will we have to touch some of those equipment line items with what we've used to rent to do Austin and Sutton?
No, I would rental line items too.
Okay.
So that's your call.
When does it go back?
I think I started running it like 8:30, I think it was. Eight. So,
August.
8:30, 9:30, 10:30, it would be 2 months.
What do we pay a
Which is
month?
what, next week?
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
Pardon?
And so,
I could let it go another month even. and
what's that gonna bring that up?
I could, I don't know, yeah, they let me run it, I think 3 months is about it. Because they won't give you all your money towards the purchase if you go out too much farther. I think 3 months is it.
What do we pay per month?
3.
Grand? So you one more month, you're at 9.
Yeah,
We could do that.
Better than halfway at nine,
Right.
3 months.
Over halfway.
yeah.
At that point, you're almost, paid not to buy it.
And what's everyone's thoughts on it?
I
I don't-
can see another month and then.
Another month and.
Will they allow us if we go another month to,
I think we can go 3. I'm sure I can.
How about check that, and if not, we can get together on a,
Right.
special meeting if we have to.
is that our overall goal then, is we're just
Well-
playing the numbers? I mean, if we go another month, we're gonna just, we're moving in the fashion that if we're $9,000 in, we're not gonna let it go for 7.
That's true.
Right.
So we can
That's
either,
true.
I mean, see how we're going, we can either bite the bullet because Scott says within his line items, he can manage that.
Are we sure we can use this? Is this gonna be something that's gonna then sit on the shelf and maybe once a year get used?
No, well, they'll use it, you know, when we're doing the work, this kind of work, we use it.
Right.
That's, so,
I mean, Austin Street or other jobs, what other?
like any of the storm work you do, anything where you, on these side streets, they're narrow.
Right.
So anytime you have a ditch open,
Yeah,
like I say, you pull up and it dumps in, you don't have to try to get the machine. Like
Right.
last night, Dave hit the pole over here, and he didn't hurt anything, he scratched a little bit of paint, but, you know, should have had the side dump bucket on it.
Mhm.
you know.
yeah.
Can you use the side dump bucket as a normal bucket, or it's either the side
Both.
dump or nothing?
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
So you can always just have the regular side dump bucket on and use it as a normal bucket?
Yeah, well, we had it on, it was on for probably a month.
Yeah.
We just left it on.
You're using this on which? On the excavators or on the loader?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you look at the projects next year, are there projects already that you want to start where you would use the bucket?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that if we're gonna get 3 months in it
Bank
this year,
Street, Quay
if
Street.
we're gonna have 2 or 3 months in it next year, ultimately we bought it.
Right. That's kind of what I was, like I say, the boys have been after me for a long time. I used to get one, and I got it. It does work very nice.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's hard when you want to square up to the trench with a loader. You know, they're wide, streets are narrow. It's hard.
You're already talking about wanting to do stuff on not only Bank Street, but you're also talking Quay, right? You want to do some ditching, some
Adams, the rest of Adams.
the rest of Adams, you want to do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't see any reason to put it off. If
Yeah.
do you foresee within your, that budget item, like any other expenditures coming up, and where you're planning to take this out of your equipment budget? I mean, we're pretty,
Is there anything else you see in the foreseeable future?
For equipment?
Yes.
Not right now, I mean, we're starting to get to a point where, we're getting pretty good shape. These are just small things that make life a whole lot easier.
Starting to get in good shape. I would like to say that we are in good shape after all the money we've spent.
Yeah, we still need an asphalt roller, there's a few things we need to.
Yeah. Go buy yourself some
Yeah,
tobacco.
hang on.
Tobacco.
Hang on.
Vac truck.
Oh, let's not go there.
That's why I covered up. I mean, if we're ultimately let's keep it another month and then make the decision, why don't we just make the decision, be done with it, so we ain't
Yeah,
gotta
I
just
agree
deal
with
it.
you.
I agree.
So I guess if you're looking for a motion, make a motion that we utilize the budget line items that Scott has laid out in front of us and purchase it, be done with it, and move on.
Yeah.
Okay, a motion then from trustee Rittenhouse to purchase that side bucket. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from trustee Waitnick. Further discussion? Okay. Dick?
Aye.
Dick?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Pete? Aye.
I mean, I
Carries.
think it's the best thing to do. Why wait a month and
Yeah,
then buy
yeah.
it?
Well, if you put another 3 in, that's pretty, what are we gonna do then?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're over halfway through.
Well, we can still do that, I can still, we want to.
Yeah.
But that's,
Too late. You own it. Or the village owns it.
are you saying we're being foolish? Foolish, no. I didn't say you were foolish. No, I think it's a smart thing. For the guys,
Scott,
work
I'm
we're
just
doing.
kidding. I'm just kidding, Scott.
Want to talk any more about the ramp over here on the corner? The side, the steps?
On this side?
Yeah.
Or your,
No,
this side? Well, Dan, you talked to Pat, we talked to Pat on
Monday.
Monday.
Mhm.
I think he said around, what, $7,500
Yeah.
to do the ramp. I'll have to get other prices before we could, but I think at this point, let's see where things shake out and do it in spring, that's what I feel. It's getting late to be doing that kind of
Yeah,
concrete
yeah.
work, you get frost at night now,
He ain't gonna do anything another couple weeks anyway.
and, right, well, you could do it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
blankets and
Oh,
all
yeah.
that, but, I
Why
just,
risk it?
why
Yeah.
risk it?
Yeah.
And we need to talk about spending others on the railings. I think.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about Rams.
I've only been able to get one quote so far.
From?
Sam Volt out of Monday.
It's only distantly related.
I do know him.
Does he do decent work, I mean,
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
everything he has, and,
Yep.
What old the gentleman that worked with Kyle?
well,
He'll custom make anything you want.
yeah.
I didn't know he was, I didn't know he was still in business or not.
I'm just interested in the shape of it all.
Well, that's you'll see, actually, Phil, the other fellow that we talked about maybe hiring part-time, they came up with the idea of this 1-inch flat top by 2-inch. I haven't seen it, but they said it looks really sharp, but, we don't, that's more money, it's another $800, I don't think it's really, I guess I'll leave that up to you guys, but, it's $8,000. I was pretty close, I told you the other day, Pete, on the price.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of money for a railing. The materials are probably around $3,500, I'd say. So basically you have a choice, 1.25-inch pipe, which is over there now, or you go this other route where it's the big bowl top, 1 by 2 inch, solid, top. This fella could start, and probably, he said, probably a week he would get going on it, and in a couple weeks he would at least get the railings up the steps and get that part in so that we could use the steps, and then he would continue with the other. But I have to find another quote from somebody, and I'll do that. But I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, I think the price is about what we're gonna get.
Used to be a guy over in South Livonia, Tom Sargent. I don't know if he still does it or not.
I think I can get a price out of the guy up in Wayland too, Southern Tier Steel.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think they'll give me
okay,
a
yeah,
quote on it.
yeah.
But,
Is that Landino?
No, no.
Schwartz.
Southern Tier.
So option one is just a round pipe, and option two is a flat top.
Right. 1 inch by 2 inch, that's a pretty nasty chunk
Yeah.
of steel.
Yeah,
It would have a different look, that's the only thing, it would look different than the church, because the church is all, everything's round.
Right.
And then we'd have to decide on the color, which I like to stay out of that. I don't know,
Well, I'd like to see the church take that one down anyway.
which one, the one that's out.
Stainless steel in front there. That was only put there to keep the kids from cutting through,
Yeah.
so the grass would grow.
I didn't ask what stainless steel would be, but I can tell you it's.
No, don't even bother.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be at least double, if not more.
What kind is this?
That'll be a painted steel.
Good Ellen say to it?
I have it, the prints have been down there for 2 weeks. I actually called him today. Said his crew was busy. They're gonna be, he said, in the
Okay.
middle of November before they could get to it.
Okay.
I said, can you just at least give us a price?
Yeah.
So we have that. And
I see the library's doing their railing, I don't know if they're just fixing the old railing or putting in new.
I think they're putting in some new there.
Who's doing that?
That's what I was
Probably this
just
guy.
thinking. Yeah.
He didn't say though.
No, I didn't know who was doing it either, the seal's gone, so we must.
Dave Avery's the one that told me about this fella, and Dave said he does very good work, and he's got a nice brochure. I should have brought it in and showed you guys. Really nice brochure. He's actually doing some work for Tommy Layden. He hasn't got that piece yet. I talked to Tommy today and asked him if he hasn't received that yet.
He did the handrails on my front porch, on my front steps.
Did he?
Yep. Probably
This guy?
7 or 8 years ago.
So I guess I'd like to leave it this way. I mean, I'll get a couple prices. I can email them to you guys. If they're lower, then I think we need to get back together and talk about it. If they're higher, then we gotta do something with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't leave it like it is.
No,
No.
it's pretty ugly over there right now.
Yeah, that
I'll
orange-
try to
that
address
orange fence, they got-
I'll try to make that look a little prettier as soon as I get a chance. Well, it's a lot of money, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a lot of work too. A lot of material, a lot of welding.
I don't know, whatever we gotta move forward, because we got the wall in, and,
Well, we gotta move forward with somebody.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if I can get something that's cheaper, I mean, if LMC comes in cheaper, then,
When can they do it?
yeah, well, they said it's gonna be the middle of, which I think pretty much anybody at this point is gonna be the middle of November before they get anything done.
Yeah.
you know.
What do they anchor it with? They bore a hole. They anchor it with more concrete, or do they have a?
It's a special.
Special.
That won't be an issue.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of different ways of
Yeah.
today, they got all kinds of stuff. Just getting somebody is a problem.
You want to explain the problem over there? Not problem, but the issue that came up?
Yeah, there's basically some expansion cracking in the wall, which, you know, when you look at it, you think, why is this brand new wall cracking? But it's concrete, it's gonna crack. Basically, he should have put a control joint about every 6 or 8 feet. But I told Pete, it would look horrid if you
Yeah.
cut it. So it's basically cutting itself where it needs to relieve. So you got, right now there's 3, there'll probably end up maybe being 5 or 6, but you've got to get right up close to see them. And, you know, I'll vouch for it, I supplied the rebar to him, which was, that I got from his plant, 3/4 inch rebar that's in it. It's not going anywhere.
No.
It's just basically, it's shrinkage cracking that you're gonna get kind
You
of.
go pour any flat work on the ground, it's gonna crack.
Yeah.
The sidewalk cracked, actually before he even got a chance to cut it. They poured it late in the afternoon, he came back the next morning, cut it, and it was already cracked in one spot, which is, it's happened to us.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, there are 3 cracks in it.
Is it in the top, in the concrete?
Yeah,
slab?
and the wall.
So
The one, you can barely make it out. If you follow the crack, you can find it, but that's the one closest to the steps.
But, you know, Pat makes it very clear in his contract that he's not responsible for that, which,
Yeah.
it's really all, it's humanly impossible, concrete cracks.
Yeah.
It just does, it's the nature of the beast.
And it's not a normal,
It's, nothing's gonna happen to the wall, that's,
It's not going
it's
anywhere.
not going. And it does
My only concern is possibly if water were to get in the cracks.
blow it apart or something.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Like he said, it is hard for the water to penetrate in, you know, it's gonna run down, not, he said you'd have to stand there with a hose and, on a freezing day and blow it in there. But, you know, it's something to watch, and I wouldn't have any problem with putting silicone in those.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Myself.
That's
He
what
didn't
I-
really want to, but, I mean, I have stamped concrete patio, and the control joints, I silicone.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you see it a little bit, but not much.
Right, I agree, Scott.
That way no water can get in.
Yeah.
Well, clear, talking about clear cylinder.
You just gotta be really, you know, when you do it, you can't just go over and slather it on.
Right,
You
you gotta,
Yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah,
But other than that, he did a nice job.
yep.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't, I'm saying you don't notice it unless you're on top of it.
No,
Beautiful.
it's just one of those things you'll look at once and then you'll forget about it.
Yeah.
When you're driving by, you're not gonna see
Yeah,
those.
beautiful job, really. Yeah,
But I'd rather have those cracks than seriously than control joints cut in that wall.
yeah,
Because
oh, yeah,
then it looks fake.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Besides, now you can do it all, because you got the forms.
yeah. Finding the time.
Crossville Street will be done soon.
Yes, I will, thank you.
Anything else, Scott?
Do we want to do anything on this to approve it if, unless, once there's a secondary,
I think we need to have at least two.
get a second one, then have a special meeting or something, so we can get
We
it
have to.
approved, so we can move forward, so we can get
Do that.
it going as quick as we can.
Yep.
And I'll try to make that top priority, because like they say, we need another, that second pole.
Mhm.
I was hoping I'd have it tonight, but I'll see. And maybe I'll have it tomorrow or the next day, I don't know.
Heard.
Yeah, that could be, sure, here, cool for this.
If I just,
I'll make one.
we'd have to have a special meeting, all right?
I used to be a welder.
I don't know, could we do it on email?
What?
Do we have
Vote?
to have, it if LMC's comes in higher, would we have to have a special meeting?
Yes, you would.
Okay.
Can't do it by email, you can't do it by, you could do it if you had a teleconference. No, with a video you could do it. So if everybody's got,
Sounds to me
If
like-
if everybody's got FaceTime, we're in.
As soon as you get that thing, let us know, and I'll make my point, 'cause
Yeah.
I'd like to get whoever
Yeah,
it is
absolutely.
5 minutes.
moving forward.
Probably take more time to convene the meeting and adjourn it.
Yeah,
When will you blacktop up to, like, finish the road and all that?
I had Quinn in Town and Country give me prices on a bunch of work around town. Quinn was lower, so I'll have him do that, hopefully next week.
What, for Austin?
No,
Oh.
to do like along the wall, where
Oh,
we gotta
okay, yeah.
cut the blacktop and then repave it up through there. And then there's a ton of.
Believe it or not, people are
spots.
asking, right, you're gonna pave up to the, no, I think we'll leave it just like it is.
Keeps the skateboarders away.
Well, there's a.
Not putting railings on
At the
either.
bottom of that, it's a mess. That's gonna take a little work to get that thing fixed up, so. Another project. But yes, we definitely get that paid for winter, unless winter comes really, really fast. We'll get in trouble.
Let's hope it's not around the corner.
Oh, well. Anything else for Scott? Okay. Moving on to Parks and Recreation. Let me just do that. Excuse me. I'm hoping to have a meeting next week with the Parks, Recreation, Beautification Committee. We're still working on that. Next Thursday evening. And we need some people to help serve the donuts and cider. Halloween, 31st. I will be there.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Maybe I'll be out, probably my littlest one, still trick or treating. She gotta be in close though.
Who's taking whom out here?
I do survey the bag.
How much to eat, though, that's the problem.
It doesn't take a lot to do what's
What you
downstairs.
got?
Most of it's done by the time the parade starts.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. You can go with your children. I expect the box to be full the next day.
It always is.
Okay, and the technology, you want to talk anything about the panic alarm? Where the current standings on this?
We can't make a decision tonight. I sent it out in an email. I did get a quote from Doyle, but I called him today. I have a question. I don't know if I just don't understand this quote, or if I'm correct, but I don't believe that we were quoted for the alarm bell, for the bells, the 2 bells. I don't think that's in here, so.
Got buttons but no bells.
So that would need to go up. If that's the case, and then I just had one other question for him. He was gonna send me just the size and like a picture of what the button is. I have that from Sonatrol right now, so I wanted to get it from the other companies too. And then, I forwarded the email from, with the other company, Tyco. He says he's been on the road, so he hasn't had any office time. Would that still be okay? Whatever, I told him I'd let him know tomorrow whether or not the board made a decision or if he could still provide us with his quote.
Well, it looks like he's got a little bit more time.
So, I suppose it's not for this month.
Sometime in next year.
When you have all the parts to the puzzle, can you put it together in a format where we can kind of look across and make comparisons? And I'm not necessarily saying A, B, 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 but you know, so at least we can look at them to know what each one includes and,
Yes,
okay.
I can do
And
that.
compare apples
Was
to
Doyle better
apples.
than
yeah.
the Sonic Trolls?
As far as professionalism or
Price.
price, well, yeah, but I think they're missing a piece. So.
Spoken about the most. The piece that started.
The alert?
Yeah, the piece that started every conversation, was interjected midway of every conversation and ended every conversation, was the piece they missed,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Push
So-
the button and what do you get?
silence. Somebody makes a phone call from 50 miles away to 20 miles away.
Right, as long as I'm reading the quote correctly and I'm not missing something. You know, and I don't, from Sonatrol, like I didn't have it, the price of each item wasn't itemized, so I can't even guess at what the bell costs to say. So,
So the nature is,
I don't know.
the years we live in, just the way
so that's it. And
customer
then-
service.
And then, like I said, I do want to see the pendants as well. You know, I just want to make sure,
Mhm.
you know, that what they're quoting us is comparable to
Right.
what Sonatrol is quoting us so that we're all comfortable.
Okay. There's nothing else under technology. We moved to unfinished business and there's nothing there. Anybody think of anything that's unfinished that's not listed below under new business?
Technology, while I was looking through that Nikon magazine
Uh-huh.
today, and they're talking about developing an app for your community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Is that something that we would,
we gotta have something on the other end.
well,
They can get the app. We gotta have something that when they open up that app, there's something there. I don't know how that would work with our current website at all. Do you know?
Well, that may be an option when we rebuild the website,
Mhm.
when we have the newer technology.
Yeah, I haven't read the article. I saw it in there, but I haven't read it yet.
I read part of it.
Mhm.
Lateral, tab, scan, tab.
Pat.
When are we
Does
gonna start?
anybody look up our website on their cell phone? I don't think we have like the phone layout, Digital Topaz, I don't think they have that yet. So when we get the new website, the new technology, that will have like the
It's supposed to be
phone-
mobile,
It'll be
adaptable.
mobile,
Yeah, huh?
yes. So then we would look at maybe, you know, having an app as well.
If you're not careful, if you open it up on one device, it might look fine. You open it up on another device, and you're not gonna make heads or tails out of it. And that would be you want something when you look at it that makes
Like you
sense.
said, it'd be a lot of paperwork.
It was
If
quite-
you like, I could provide the information on the tablets and the programs for like the shared files again for next month, maybe. That would be helpful.
You think that would be something better to look at for the next budget year?
Mhm.
I think if we have like solid ordeals, and then when you go into the budget year, because right now it's not budgeted, any of that stuff, so I think, because of some of the purchases that we've made and stuff, we want to just be careful finishing out the rest of this year, but I think that would be something.
I think that would be a good thing to plan for next year. I think it gets really confusing. I would imagine it's confusing for everybody getting an email getting a monthly report on Monday, and then getting one on Thursday, and then 3 more on Friday, unless you're creating a folder to keep all of
I got
those in.
every email ever.
But you know what I mean, so if you have to quick reference it, wouldn't it be nice if you all had like a shared file that you could go into so that you're all referencing?
Are you using your own server?
Mm-hmm. Watch out that classified material.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
when
sorry,
the
Megan.
village provides me a server, I'll use it.
Okay there,
An
Hillary.
email? Like an email account?
No. No, this is.
What are we doing on website development? Nothing?
Right at this point, we're not doing anything.
No.
Are we gonna discuss that at some point? We're just gonna wait till the next fiscal year?
Well, the money's budgeted.
But the manpower is not.
I was more thinking about woman power.
Nope. Nope. Unless you want to put our state auditors on hold.
How's that going?
The audit?
They're not gonna be here forever.
Yeah, they're,
They
At least I
find any
don't think they
problems?
are.
well, so far it's just been like meet and greet, provide them with information. That's about it. They met with the mayor, they met with myself a couple times, Karen, Charlie, Tammy. They'll have a meeting with Scott next week.
We're assuming Scott's the one that's gonna get hit.
They'll meet with Jess.
You got everything in order, right?
If he isn't,
So, but there's been 2 of them here. They've been great. They've been, actually, they went to training yesterday, today. We'll be at training tomorrow, so they'll be back in on Thursday. So I've just been trying to email them all of the financial reports and policies and everything that they want. They're going back to 2014. So we'll look forward to that resolve. You know, I mean, the earliest we'd have any, like a draft is still a few months out. It'll be a while. But they'll determine, so they'll meet with everybody, they'll run some testing with, you know, with different reports and operations and stuff like that, and then they'll determine based on whatever grading, system they have, they will determine what department they feel is most in need of an audit, and then they'll audit that. So this is kind of a pre-audit before our audit.
They post audit,
Yeah.
the audit. That's what they don't hear the post.
They have asked some questions, you know, about, from the last time they were out here, it's the same auditor, a different manager. So he has asked some questions, are we still doing this, or are we still doing that? And
did you inform them that we do have all those policies
yes, I emailed those
Okay. to them?
on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. So, they have those. So that's where the website stands.
I'm sure.
Well, it's in there, and there's nothing that says we couldn't do it as we get a little further along in the year. I would, given some of the tightness, we might want to wait a little bit and see how we're standing after the first of the year.
Well, and we're still trying to do the records management, so if we put another project in there, that's gonna get put on the burner again.
Mhm.
You know, I have just.
Well, we moved the website up in front of the records management.
So we can do that. Our goal was to start, because we wanted to clean up the basement, so
Mhm.
our goal was to start destroying some records and start bringing some records in front of the board to destroy, but we don't have to do that.
We can still do that without spending a lot of money. I mean,
Well,
records management is
No,
just,
the records management is just mine and Jess's time.
yeah.
No, that's right, I'm just saying if you'd rather put our time onto something different, that's okay. I just wanted to give out a reminder that there's some other projects that are long-term that we've been trying to fit in some hours to do those.
Okay, down to new business. Zero Draft Energy Audits. We had that before us last week. That's the company that does the audits, energy audits for housing rehab program.
Yeah.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve that if someone is so inclined.
So moved.
I have a motion from trustee Labar. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from trustee Whitnick. Discussion. Okay, not hearing any. Trustee Rittenhouse?
Aye.
Trustee Labar?
Aye.
Trustee Whitnick?
Aye.
And the mayor's an aye. So motion passes 4-0. Discuss and vote on lawless housing rehab application plus possible others, which we did get today. I think
Those-
did everybody get copies?
The stack that I gave you were ones that were already approved, you just have to sign them.
Oh, okay. So then we just have the
So
one.
we just have the one.
Okay.
A quick update, we have 11 total that are pre-qualified.
Mhm.
And then and 9 of them have been approved by the board. And the last update that I had, they had 4 more people or residents that they were gonna meet with this week,
Where do we stand with Tammy?
pre-qualifying.
I mean, beyond what I was told last week.
It still lies in the hands of the legal department with the state. So I've talked with Denise
Nobody's-
Cannon
Nobody's gotten back to you since you talked to me?
from the state, nope. And Denise was gonna send them another email. Denise has been very helpful, but it's her legal department that's just not getting back to anyone.
See me tomorrow morning about that, and I'll call her myself. I'll like to move that along.
Yeah.
I don't see what the problem is.
There is no reason that she wouldn't get the waiver.
Right. And basically, we approved it, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she has nothing to say about anything that's going into that project. She more than qualifies.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, just her job shouldn't restrict her from getting the doggone benefit. We've got other people in this community taking advantage of it.
And it's basically the way that Denise kind of said it to me is it's just whenever they get to it. Like it's just,
Yep.
you know, wherever it is on their list of things to do, then they'll send it back down to her.
Mhm.
But Toma Development has communicated with them. I've communicated with them a few times.
Mhm.
Email correspondences, phone calls. So,
Well, I'd like to talk to her, then if necessary, you know, I'll ask her if you benefit to call our representatives.
right, is there somebody else that you can talk to?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to threaten her or anything like that, but if it would be of any help to have somebody else get involved in it.
Well, and they've had Tammy go through the bid process
Mhm.
already, so the board would be ready to approve her application, and they would be ready to give the contractors the notice to proceed basically as soon as we get this waiver back from the state.
Yeah. We didn't have half the trouble with the last one. There were some other issues involved there.
Yeah.
That's what seems so unfair. Okay. So we need to go ahead then and approve Ms. Lawless. And that's the one with Mr. Comer's property, right?
Yes.
That she's good doing the land contract?
Yes.
Okay, I'll entertain any motion to approve her housing rehab application.
Motion.
A motion from trustee Rittenhouse, second from trustee Whitenack. Discussion?
Which applicant is it that has the issue with the roof and can't get insurance?
That's on Van Campen Street.
Okay.
Jack Bosick?
Yes.
We're gonna talk about that later?
Yeah.
We can talk about that anytime you'd like to.
Well, no, we got a motion, I just want to make sure that
No,
this is this, I
I
couldn't
have
remember
an
the name.
update on that.
I couldn't
Okay.
remember the name. Okay,
Yep.
I'm good.
All right, Vic?
Aye.
Dick?
Aye.
And Dan?
Aye.
Okay, the mayor's and I as well. Motion carries 4-0. All right, we can add that on to it. What's your update?
Okay, so Toma Development is going to reach out, well, they're gonna have her the homeowner reach out to insurance companies with the contractor's proposals and see if with the proposal or with the work orders, knowing what work is going to be done, if they'll give her insurance before it gets done, early on, and then they'll let us know.
This is a catch-22.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we wanna help, but
So-
I can't put the village in a pickle
No.
for $7 grand on
Right.
someone's
Right.
roof. I mean, could you imagine that going out to the public, that we just roof
Yeah,
someone's
we,
house?
That'd be worse. It'd
I'm
be
sorry
worse
that
than-
they got in that situation, but that we've had these grants for years now, correct?
Yeah, it's our second round,
So
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
how was it the first round?
We didn't have this issue.
No, we
Like,
did
We
not.
didn't have a
But I'm saying, what-
non-insurance issue.
No, I'm saying, what was the status of the house? And if it would've went the first time around, was the roof in a better shape to be able to be,
Maybe.
you know, where they would've.
Right. So they're gonna try that route, because it's just so risky.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't do it as nice as it would be to help her out.
Yeah.
Gotta draw a line.
Well,
We can't jeopardize the taxpayers' money.
no. Not in one quote.
Or set a precedent, either
Yeah.
one. Yep.
Have them start
No, that's-
have them do my house.
That's pretty much where I came out of the, I read the email from Megan.
Mhm.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, is there any other new business needs to come before the board this evening?
I just have one question.
Yeah.
Last year we discussed DRE training.
DRE, oh, yes.
Officers training.
Mm-hmm,
So we had put that officer through the certification for that training.
Mhm.
And then he attended the instructor portion himself, on
Mhm.
his own dollar, time, so on and so
Right.
forth. So it's time to recertify both of those. So I was going to follow the same practice. We would handle the expenses on our end for the certification for the DRE that we put him through multiple years ago.
mm-hmm,
But the instructor portion, if he chooses to attend that training, the expectation from my point of view, the same as last year, that he takes a day off, he can use his vacation day or whatever he wants to use to go, if that's what he chooses to do. But we had discussion on last year, and I couldn't quite frankly remember every detail of the discussion, so I just thought I'd bring it up again.
I think the only discussion I remember having was whether we were gonna pay, it was in regards to him coming out for DREs. I don't remember ever.
Yeah, there was a conversation on the training, as far as the coming out. If he comes out for us, that's our responsibility. If he comes out from another department, then we can submit that and have it reimbursed. So this is just.
I think that's where we came out last year.
I thought that's where we came out.
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So.
If you want to do the instructor portion of it, then he would be responsible for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
his dime and his time.
Yeah,
yeah, that's where we came out.
yeah.
And then, just as a side note, in case anybody happens to be driving around, we talked about the brush down there. That same person is like partial or one-third owner of the rooming house on Elizabeth Street. So part of my conversation with him on the brush will be cleaning up his dual ownership of that
On Elizabeth?
rooming house on Elizabeth Street.
Yeah, I've noticed that the grass is starting to get up there too.
Everything is bad.
Yeah.
Is that going back to a single occupancy residence?
Supposed to, I believe we're in good shape. I believe we're in good shape for that. It has been determined, has been what's that?
Certified?
Converted.
No, deconverted.
Yes. That's been done, so we're all straight and solid there, so.
The best he can do is rent it as a single-family house.
That's all.
Something tells me he would, I'm just afraid of what he might try to do. We don't have any idea when he's supposed to go to trial.
No.
That's still waiting for the
He
election.
said, the boys were talking about that, I think in November. That was what they said.
Yeah, probably after the election.
Pretty sure that's what they said.
Yeah. Okay.
Johnson's had
Johnson.
Any community comments? We've got so many members of the community here. Okay, I'd like to, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing the employee's work history and appointing a hearing officer. All right, motion from trustee Labar, second from trustee Whitenack. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And I need to see you tomorrow morning. You available tomorrow?
Yeah, the time should be
Sometime in the morning.